Hi peeps, Tersse back on the old squat box again, and I'm going to be discussing the full faith and credit of the American economy. Now, this might be hard for people in America to understand, especially these people who say, oh well, we won't be defaulting if we just don't pay certain people for a few days, you know, and we shuffle some money about and pay the most important people, you know, but that's not a default. If we just pay the interest but don't pay, you know, the actual money that was owed to us, you know, that's not a default, but it is a default. This is what full faith and credit means. Say I, with my whole life, borrowing money and paying back that money to, my neighbour next door. When I die, right, as long as I've paid him back, he's lost nothing, and he's understood that I've always kept up my full faith and credit. I can't pass that credit rating on to my son. My son has to build up his own faith and credit with a lender, you know. What you've got in America is you've got 200 years of each individual president coming into power and having a Senate and a House that upholds the full faith and credit of that president and the American government. That's the thing you've got in America. I can't pass my credit rating on to my son, but as an American society, you pass your full faith and credit on from one president to the next, from one Congress to the next. And everybody in the world accepts that you're passing that credit on, and they accept that every president and every Congress is going to uphold America's full faith and credit. If you default on that, the last 250 years are nothing. You'll never be trusted again. You're a deadbeat, you're a liar. You promised to pay me and you didn't pay me. You lied to me. I'm never going to lend you money at the same price I lent you before, because I'm always going to expect, well, next year when the presidency changes and a new Congress comes in, well, who's to say they're not going to hold the fucking debt limit to hostage? And I'm not going to get my money back next year. So I'm not going to lend you, at a low rate. I'm going to say, well, the chances are you might default next year, so I want you to pay me double the interest or triple the interest, you know. What do you think that's going to do to the dollar? It's going to make the dollar worth 2/3 of what it is today. And the dollar's low enough in value, by the way. So, nowadays maybe understand what full faith and credit means. If you force America under this president, this Senate and this House to default on paying back the money it's already borrowed and spent, then you make America out to be a fucking liar. You promised to pay me and you didn't. You're a bum. What do we do with bums? We make sure that they can't get decent credit rating. They have to pay twice or 3 times as much as anybody else, because we can't trust the bum to pay us back. That's what the full faith and credit of America stands for. Are you going to continue to be, you know, the best payer of money loaned in the world, or are you going to become a bum and a liar? It's up to you. What do you think? Do you think the House should hold America hostage, shut the government down, not pay its debts, become a bum in the world, become a liar, borrow and promise to pay, and then when, you know, the chitty comes round, it's like, but we'll pay you next week. That's not the deal. You promised to pay me this week. You know? Do you want to be known as the bum of the world? You want to be known as Argentina, Greece? Is that the way that America wants to go? Because that's what you're messing with. So I hope I've explained to people in America what the full faith and credit of the American society actually means. You can't decide not to pay. If you do, then the last 250 years of America being the best borrower and payer backer in the world is gone. It's gone. Everybody who lends you money is going to say, well, I will lend you money, but it's going to cost you. I used to lend you at 2.5%, now I lend 10%. And what's that going to do to America? Well, everything is going to be inflated. All prices in America are going to go up by 7.5%. Because, you know, that's what it's going to cost for us to lend you money. Imagine if you've got a mortgage and it suddenly went up by 7.25%. You kidding me? You wouldn't be able to pay your mortgage. That would bust the housing bubble. It's not even a bubble anymore. It would just bust the housing open. What about businesses trying to borrow to grow their business? You're going to have to pay another 7.25% on the loans that you borrowed. Can you afford to do that as a small business? I bet you can. You borrowed money to go to college. You want to have your interest go up by 7.25%? It's already bad enough I hear at 3%. Do you want another 7.25% stuck on that? That's what would happen if you go through the fucking debt limit. You've got to raise the debt limit. You've got to pay the money you borrowed and spent already. If you don't, you're a bum. And we're not going to lend you money at the price you're borrowing it at present. We're going to put the price up. And that puts the price of everything. Every dollar that somebody's borrowed in America would go up by the same amount in order to pay to borrow money now. Anybody who's fucking too stupid to understand that simple principle should shut the fuck up and let the adults in the room fucking talk and deal with it. So you Tea Parties, Ted Cruz's, use wankers, you know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. Let the adults in the room fucking talk and deal with it, you know? Somebody fucking that.